Well, it was a great night. Started with Gamecock Walk. We had a sellout. Great crowd. Again, it started with Gamecock Walk. Unbelievable fan base here. Most loyal fan base in the country. We haven't exactly played as well, or coached as well as we need to this fall, and we really appreciate them. And then tonight, the atmosphere there was amazing. It certainly affected them offensively in the game. Affected the snap count. They had several false starts, so I really appreciate our crowd and them backing us. First night game here at Williams-Brice. Presented President Caslen the game ball at the end of the game. Our first SEC win, first night game. Appreciate his support. He flew with us to Missouri and has been in the locker room, been around the guys, and is certainly making an effort to reach out to our student body, which is awesome. But as far as the game was concerned, felt like, obviously they've got some issues offensively, but we were able to win on the line of scrimmage. We were able to limit the run game till there at the end. They didn't really have anything. We were able to run the ball effectively throughout the game. We were able to get off the field on defense on third down, which is critical. We had 2 fourth-down stops, and I wish we had stayed on the field a little bit more on track offensively in the second half, especially in the third quarter after the first touchdown run. But we need to continue to work through that, and we have the ability to do that here in the open week. But just looking at some of the stats here off the top of my head there. But we had a great crowd, a lot of former players back. Debo Samuel, they're off this week. He's been with us all week, worked out with Brian McClendon twice. Brandon Shell, saw him on the sideline. Didn't see Alshon. He was supposed to have been there. But Elliott Fry, Drew Williams, Yurick Jones, Perry Orth, Jacob August, Coach Spurrier, and Jerry were back. So it's great to have a bunch of Gamecocks back, and a great night here and a good night for us. And we needed to get a win, and we got one. I'll open up for any questions.
Will, how was Rico?
He's got an ankle. I got a couple of updates there. Dylan Warnham hurt his ankle in the Missouri game. How it's not broken, I don't know. It was on Rico's touchdown run. He got high load and just a bad deal. Probably going to be 3 or 4 weeks would be my guess. Unfortunate deal. I don't know about Rico. I'll know more as we move forward. And then Jamel Cook and Kier Thomas had a teammate at Miami Central that was in a tragic car accident. And his funeral was today, and both of them felt like that was family for them, and they needed to be there, and family comes first around here. So I told both of them we flew them both home for the funeral, and they'll both be back with us Tuesday. We're going to give the guys some little time right here and practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and work out Friday, and we'll get back after it on Sunday here in the open week.
Obviously, the rushing game was a focus. Just what did you see out of Kentucky's defense that you thought that it would be able to work, and then it worked so well?
Well, I think, again, we got in some sets where our numbers were right in the run game, and we were able to create some of that by formation. And I think our offensive staff did a good job game planning because they've been a difficult front to run against. They've been long, they're big up front, they're hard to move, they're very active at linebacker. So hey, they've done a nice job with that stuff. So we had a good plan going, and our players did a fantastic job of executing it.
Brian Edwards, he had a catch tonight, multiple catches actually, so he extends the record to 43 games with the catch. What do you talk about him and his consistency throughout his entire career at USC, especially his ability to get wide open?
Well, I think it starts, number one, with how he practices. He practices the right way, so when he gets to game time situations, it becomes easy to him. And I think that Brian did a good job of McClendon did a good job of creating some plays for him. The quick screen that we started the game with, that we had a couple third down conversions. We tried one late, and we were about 2 yards short. But, continue to find ways to get the ball in his hands because the guy's running, he's running with violent energy right now. He's running through contact. He competes his butt off. Again, he's a guy that made a great decision to return to school, and he's taken full advantage of the opportunity sitting in front of him.
Will 20 more rushing attempts and passing attempts, was that just something in the game plan, or is this kind of his offense trying to find its identity at this point in the season?
No, I think, again, do what it takes to win ball games. We threw it a bunch against Alabama, and we had 480-something yards, and we needed to score some more points, and we needed to score in the red zone. That's what we needed to do in that ball game to win the ball game. We came up short, and tonight the run game was working. We felt good with some of the runs that we had going in the ball game, and we stuck with the run. So we're going to do what it takes to win.
Were you more involved in calling the defense tonight?
What's that?
Were you more involved in calling the defense tonight?
No, not any more than I was in every game I've been at South Carolina.
what did you see from Jalen Nichols kind of getting thrown in there? How did he sort of perform?
Well, we'll evaluate the tape. We had a little pressure there at the end of the half that we were trying to put ourselves in at least field goal range, let Parker have a shot before half. We had to burn the timeouts on 2 substitution issues on special teams, which can't happen. We need to we'll watch the tape. We need to firm up a little bit there in the protection there. I thought he held up in the second half extremely well.
Will, you had a lot of, I know you do a good job of trying to keep outside noise outside, but with all that leading into this week, how big was this result in particular to make sure that that's kept at bay?
Well, sure. You're going into an open week, and then you want to go in with a win, obviously, and a win over an opponent we've struggled with. So that was a commanding win, and that's what we needed to have going in the open week. And again, I think that this football team, the biggest word that I would say is we've just been very inconsistent. We haven't complemented each other at times, offensively, defensively, and special teams. We've just been inconsistent at times, and it's been very frustrating. And it's on my shoulders. We'll get it corrected. We're going to work our ass off to get it done, and our guys understand. But that's what leadership does for you. We have good leadership in the locker room. We have a good culture in our program, and our guys do a really nice job of picking each other up and keeping the faith of what we're doing.
The defense was dominant tonight until probably that last drive. What was the difference?
Well, I thought we won on the line of scrimmage. We did a nice job in our run fits, which I thought we had a good plan going in for some of the things that they did. But when you went on the line of scrimmage and they weren't creating movement, I told T-Rob after about the third series, I said, we're not getting any movement. I said, just keep hanging in there and keep fitting the run the right way and continue to tackle well in space. And we've continued to improve. We improved a lot last week. It didn't show numbers-wise as far as the score was concerned. We played too many snaps, and we gave up 14 points when we were on the field. So we've made some improvements.
Did you have any quick diagnosis on Caleb Kinlaw?
No, I don't know. Shoulder's all I know. Yeah.
Will, you mentioned the importance of going into the off week with a win. What are the challenges of creating momentum or sustaining this momentum with the off week?
Well, again, off weeks are managed by teams that have good leadership, and we've got good leadership. Our guys will approach it the right way. There's a lot of things we can work on, and I've already got a list of things before this game even occurred that we need to look at, and we'll continue to look at that. Number one, we're going to go recruiting as a staff. We got 2 open weeks this year. We're going to utilize both of those, and our entire staff will be out Monday, including myself, and our entire staff will be out Friday, including myself. So we need to hit the road recruiting, but there's things we need to work on, and we'll get 3 good practices in this week and start on a walkthrough there on Sunday for Georgia.
I mentioned having not played complimentary ball this season. What did you think about today? Being able to do that with some of the plays, defense getting off the field after the punt that hit Darius, and
yeah,
I guess the strip sack leading to a touchdown.
It's much better. You look at we get the fumble to start the third quarter. The first play, we hit them out on the nub side run game on the 30-yarder with Rico. Their punter was spraying it, and that's why they're number one. I think they're number 1 in the country in net punting because it's so difficult. He sprays it, he rolls to his left, and he'll kick with his right foot. So, it's very difficult, and we got concerned about ball possession at the end of the game, and we were willing to give up some things yardage-wise to just keep ball possession so we weren't in a situation where what happened with Darius. And we got to do a better job from a return standpoint of pointing out where the ball is. That's something we really repped going into the game, so disappointed we didn't get that executed. But, I thought we complemented each other much better.
That run, that 30-yard run to begin the third quarter, you kind of called that going off the field in the first half. What did you see that made you think that run was going to
I
work?
just didn't think their numbers were right there.
Did you tell Brian that at halftime? You and Mark visited midfield after the game. Felt like
what?
You and Mark Stoops visited
Yeah.
midfield. It felt like a little longer than the normal handshake. Is he a guy that you have some kinship with? And
I got tremendous respect for Mark and the entire Stoops family, and the job he's done at Kentucky and building that program in his 7th year and what he's accomplished. I've got tremendous respect for him as a football coach. He was defensive coordinator at Florida State when I was in Florida. Recruited against him, but I've got tremendous respect for him, for Bob Stoops, for Mike Stoops, the entire Stoops family.
I'm just curious, what prompted the glasses tonight, and I guess is that tradition that's going to stick around?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm getting old, and I can't read anymore, especially at night. It's been a fall. I got more gray hair than I've ever had. My wife doesn't like hanging around losers. I've been losing, so I mean, it ain't been good, you know.
It seemed like today you guys stuck with a little more of the three linebacker sets, even when they went
Yeah.
three receiver. I guess what factored in there, and also what kind of propelled you guys to go as two tight end heavy as you did today?
Well, that was more decided on Saturday night in Columbia, Missouri, when I knew Sherrod Green and I knew the way he played in the game and the way Jamar Brown has come on as a player. And it all goes back to getting your best 11 on the field. And you know, I've always been a match personnel guy. When they go three wideouts, you go nickel. If they go four, you go dime. I mean, we've always done that. We've always done that here. But it comes back to getting your best people on the field. And right now, those guys are playing better than those other guys are. So we're going to leave those guys out there and let them play.
How do you feel Jalen Nichols performed in his first career start and the development he's had since on campus?
There's zero issue for Jalen athletically. He fits athletically, power, movement skills, all of those things. It's very hard to play that position as a young player. And obviously we did it last year with Dylan, and he had tremendous success. But Jalen's going to be fine. And he fits. He athletically, power, all that length, he fits. But you know, we gave up a little pressure there in the end of the first half. We were trying to move the ball down the field, and we just got to be mindful in those situations with some of the speed rushers we're going to face. Yeah.
Last one to Gino. You know, the state's got a little bit.
Well, you said you've had a fall. Are there any mentors that you talk to when you're going through a time like this to see if you can pick their brain to see, you know, how to kind of navigate through it?
Ray Tanner. That's about it. That's the only one person that will talk to me this fall, so that's about it. And you know what? We get along real good.
All right, we'll let Coach go and get some players in here.
All right.
We will have the conference call tomorrow night at 6:30.